Hi, my name is Nana Ohui Osabute, popularly known as Nana the Violinist. I'm a full-time violinist. I've been playing the violin for 10 years and I love to play the violin. What made me want to start playing the violin is my love for music. I really loved music. Growing up, I would sing all the time. With the least chance I got, I loved singing. And I chose the violin specifically because I wanted an instrument that was not so common and challenging. Yeah. I'm completely self-taught, meaning that I've never had anyone teach me. I've never been in a classroom to learn. I studied everything on my own using the tools on the internet, so YouTube, violin websites and all that. Yeah. Okay, so how long did it take me to become a professional? I would say when I started my journey 10 years ago, that was in 2013, it took me about 2 years to learn the basics. That was because I was completely self-taught, but with everybody it could differ. That if you have a teacher, yeah, it could take a longer time. So I started professionally in 2018. So I'd say from 2013 to 2018, that's about 5 years before I became a professional violinist. Yeah. Is it difficult to play the violin? I'd say it depends on each individual. For me, it was difficult because I didn't have a teacher, but my love for the instrument led me to want to do it more and more, and I took up the challenge. Yeah. Okay, so when I started, everybody was thinking, why would I choose the violin? Like, among all instruments, there's piano, there's guitar, and all that, so why choose the violin? But I was very determined to do it. So my parents specifically were very supportive of it. My mom was the one that got me the violin, and my dad too has been very, very supportive. My friends, those around me, have also always cheered me on. Yeah. Okay, so playing the violin, I first got noticed in 2018 when I had to do a tribute for Ebony Rains after she died. So I was called to perform at the Vodafone Ghana Music Awards back then, and that was my first official stage appearance, and from there people started noticing me. Yeah. So what did it feel like being on stage for the first time? I felt very, very nervous. Even till now, sometimes when I have to do stage performances, I do feel nervous, but I've learned to overcome it as time goes on. Yeah. I've learned a couple of tricks that takes me through my performance. Yeah. One of the tricks that takes me through a stage performance, I put it in my mind that if you appear nervous, it shows in your body language on stage, and I like to avoid that. So I pretend there's no one on the stage and I'm in my room doing my own thing, and I bring all the game on stage and I do the performance. Yeah. One or two tricks about the violin that nobody knows. I would say, well, I don't know if you can see from here, but the violin doesn't have frets like the guitar. So if we have to play, a lot of people ask how we are able to determine the notes on the violin. So usually we use the gift of hearing, or what I say is a gift. We listen and play. Yeah, let me put it that way. Yeah. Yeah. So that's. Frets are like lines, those things. Yes, that determine where to place your fingers. Unfortunately,
I thought they were designs.
No. Unfortunately, the violin doesn't have some. It's just bare. So we have to listen and then play.
Okay.
Are there other violinists in Ghana that I look up to? I would say currently I'm the most popular violinist in the country, so yeah, but yeah, I have a couple of colleagues in the industry who are doing so well, and they are very talented and I admire them so much. But personally, I have people outside Ghana that I actually look up to because they are amazing, yeah, and they inspire me. One of such people is Lindsay Sterling. She's an amazing violinist and I'd love to be like her or meet her someday. Yeah. What do I think about the music industry in Ghana? I think it's a very challenging and tough industry, yes, because everybody is striving to be at the top. Though we are all doing our best, I think there's a lot of competition in the music industry, and I don't think that a lot of musicians support each other. I think if we all come together to support each other, we could go we could go very far in on the international market here. It's quite a difficult question to answer. When you say why do musicians not support each other, it's quite a difficult question to answer. But for me, I believe that there's a lot of room for everybody to shine. Yes, that's one thing. And I think from my experience, I think it's an issue of being afraid that someone will be at the top and others will be down. But as I think that's life. That's life, and if we learn to support each other, there's enough room for everybody to shine here. Over the last 10 years, I've trained quite a number of people. I would say I've lost count actually, but I've trained kids from ages 4 to should I say maybe 30s. Yes, I've trained people who are corporate workers. I trained mostly kids though, but I've had a couple of corporate people that I've worked with as well. Yeah. Do I do this full-time? Yes, I do this full-time. I started as a TV and radio presenter, but then the violin was taking me up more, so I had to put that aside and then focus on the violin. And it's an instrument that requires a lot of time and attention, so yes, it's a full-time job now. Yes, it does take a lot of my time, I would say, because I have events almost every week. Sometimes it depends on the time of the year we are in or the season we are in. So looking at a season like December, sometimes I can have events every single day till the end of the month. So yes, it requires that you practice consistently for everybody's events, because the minute you stop practicing you get rusty. Yeah, so it's something that takes a lot of my time, but I love it. On times where I don't have events, I love adventure, so I get to travel and do other things. Yeah. Outside the country, I wouldn't say calls, but there are people who have reached out to meet up with me. Okay, there are people who have reached out to meet up with me, yes. But here in Ghana, there are a whole lot of musicians I've worked with. I've worked with Adina, I've worked with Efia, I've worked with Celestine Donko, Kwame Eugene, yeah, quite a number of musicians. Kelvin Boy, Mike's Quest, yes, a whole lot of them, and producers as well. So some of the musicians I would love to work with both locally and internationally. Let me start with locally. I would love to work with Sina Soul, Stoneboy, Adina once more. I really love Adina, so yeah, I love to work with her. Internationally, the very first person that will blow my mind if the person reaches out to me is Lindsay Sterling, because I really love her. I love how she performs, I love how free she is and all that, yeah. Okay, so this is actually my second violin. My very first violin, my mom got it for me. Okay, but that's at home now. I've used it as a form of decoration in my room. Yes, so this is my second violin actually. I'm looking forward to getting more, though violins are quite expensive, so I'm looking forward to saving up and getting some in the future. Yeah. Does society take me serious as a musician or as a violinist? Yes, I would say it really does. I get a lot of attention being a female violinist here in Ghana. I've got so many deals, I've been to so many places just because I'm a woman. So yes, it's been a very big deal for me. I'm so grateful for this opportunity that I've got here. Do I think society is unfair to women? In the past, it used to be like that, but I think now women are getting more opportunities. I've seen so many women getting up the ladder. I've seen so many women doing things that initially people thought it was an only men's thing. Yes, but women are taking over, and yeah, I don't think society is being unfair to women these days. Yeah. What advice would I give to women that feel society is being unfair to them, people who are being harassed in society and all that because of some places they would want to be? I would say that they should stand their ground. I think it's one major thing. Initially, I said that society is being fair to women these days because, yes, in the past, there were issues like that. I don't know if people, yeah, there are a few people who experience that these days. Yeah, but for me in particular, when I was doing TV and radio presentation, one of the major things I faced was this issue of being harassed. And although I was never harassed, but I had circumstances where I want a position in maybe a certain TV or radio station, and then the person that has to give you the job will tell you that they need sexual favors before you get it. Yes, but I stood my ground, and this is how far it has got me. So I think if women learn to stand their ground, you don't always need to crumple or bend the rules for someone. So if we learn to stand our ground, I think it will really help. You just need to keep going, be determined with what you want, and then go get it. Yeah. So I don't intend playing the violin here in Ghana forever. Yes, I'm 28, I'll be 29 this year. I intend to open up an orchestra for less privileged kids and then help them learn the instruments. I know it's an instrument that people think is quite difficult to play, but I've always wanted to take up the challenge to help kids, especially autistic kids, to learn an instrument like the violin. Yeah, so I intend setting up a program like that sometime in the future, and then also moving out of Ghana, not to settle permanently, but to also explore other musicians on the international markets and working with them as well. Yeah. So to reach out to me on all social media platforms, it's Nana the Violinist on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever social media platform you can think of is Nana the Violinist. And Nana is N-A-A-N-A and then the Violinist. Thank you all so much for listening to my story.